Good morning all of you. Welcome back to our course Database Management System. So in previous lecture we discussed about integrity constraints. So we understand what is integrity constraint, how to apply integrity constraint, and what are the major types. So we discuss about one major type, that is domain constraint. We discuss about not null, check, and default constraint. Now in today's lecture we are going to discuss about key constraint. So there are three key constraints are there. One is a unique constraint, primary key constraint, and foreign key constraint. So let's start with this unique constraint. So why there is a need of unique? Unique means what? It's a single value. That duplicate value should not be there. Now in what sense, in what situation you require a unique constraint? Again same example of a student example. So in that case, do you is it desirable to have two students may have same roll number? No, two students should not have same roll number. Suppose two students may have same roll number, there is a confusion. Okay, how can you uniquely identify the student? See, two students may have same name, their name should be same, but their roll number should not be a same. So unique constraint is useful wherever you want that the value of that particular attribute should not be duplicated. For example, roll number of the student should not be duplicated. Similarly, in case of a bank, account number should not be duplicated. Suppose you assign account number 101 to one person, same account number should not be allocated to another person. That means you want that value of account number should be unique for all the customer. So in that case, what you need to do, how you need to make sure that unique every time unique values to be inserted into a table. So for that purpose you need to make use of a unique constraint. Unique constraint enforces a column of a table not to accept the duplicate value. Suppose you try to insert a duplicate value into a table, it will throw a error. So let's take an example. Create table bank account number constraint u underscore k unique. So here I applied unique constraint on attribute account number. Okay, so as I applied this constraint on account number, I cannot insert a duplicate value for this, and the other attributes are customer name, balance, and bank name. So here I have written to insert into statement. First, insert into bank values. Account number is 1, name is a, 5000 is a balance, SBI is a branch name. Again in the second insert into statement, what I have done, I have just written a same value for account number as a 1. So whenever I am executing this second insert into statement, I will get an error because account number 1 is already exist in the table, and as I applied unique constraint on account number attribute, it gives me a error. So this is what a use of unique constraint. Whenever you feel that particular attribute value should not be repeated, so you need to apply unique constraint. And finally the note is that it can be specified as a table level or you can say column level constraint. There is no restriction that it should only be a table level or column level. It should be both table level or column level. Now next we just demonstrate it with the help of LiveSQL. Okay, now see here, in this case I will just demonstrate the unique constraint. So here I am going to create table. Again I need to provide different name. I think I need to provide name 5 because already we have created this table same name, and here also I am going to change the name. Okay, so here I am creating table bank where unique constraint is applied on account number attribute. So let's try to execute this. So here I have created table bank 5 where I have applied unique constraint on account number. That means it should not accept a duplicate value. So first I will try to insert one row into a table bank 5 where account number is 1, name is A, balance is 5000 and bank name is SBI. So one row I have inserted. Now let's try to insert another row with a same account number as a 1. So whether it will allow me, no, it will not allow me to insert this, because I have applied unique constraint on account number, and unique constraint never allow duplicate value to be inserted into a table. So let's check whether it allow or not. Yes, it gives me error, unique constraint is violated. So in this case unique constraint is violated. This error I am getting because account number 1 is already present in the table. So this is what a use of a unique constraint. It will not allow duplicate value to be inserted into a table. Now the next constraint is a primary constraint, primary key constraint. Now what is the use of primary key constraint? In what situation you need to use primary key constraint? Now just we have discussed about not null constraint, we discuss about unique constraint. Now again I will give a simple example. Suppose for account number, what you want, what is a requirement, what is your requirement for account number? That account number value should be बस 5 मिनट मी एवढं खतम करतो लेक्चर. हो जा. So for account number I want that its value should not be a null and its value should not be a duplicated one. Means I am considering the attribute of account number. So I want that account number value should not be duplicated and its value should not be a null. Because suppose the account number value is null, then also I am facing problem. Suppose that account number value is duplicated, then also I am facing a problem. So in that case, what can I do? Do I need to apply this not null constraint separately, and again I need to apply unique constraint? And we know that not null constraint cannot be specified as a table level constraint, it is only specified as a column level constraint. So what is the solution? I need to apply two constraints on a single attribute. So the solution is primary key. So primary key constraint is a combination of not null constraint and unique constraint. So whenever you feel that on particular attribute you don't want null value to be inserted for that attribute, or duplicate value is to be inserted, duplicate value should not be inserted for that particular attribute, in that situation you need to make use of a primary key. Primary key enforces a column of a table not to accept a duplicate value as well as a null value. So in that situation you are going to use primary key constraint. And most important point that you need to remember about primary key constraint is that we can apply primary key constraint on only single attribute of the table. Means as we have seen, not null constraint can be applied on any number of attribute of the table, but this is not the case in case of a primary key, because primary key is a unique one based on which you will uniquely identify every account holders of a bank. So primary key constraint can be applied on only single attribute of the table. Though primary key is formed with more than one attribute, but separately you cannot apply primary key constraint on separate attribute. So this is what the important thing that you should know about primary key constraint. Now take an example. Again, create table bank. Now in this case, instead of applying not null or unique constraint, you are applying primary key constraint. And here if you observe this, I have not assigned the name. Okay, this is also possible. means suppose I don't want to give any name such as a p underscore k to this primary key, this is also possible. But what is the best way to provide the name? Why? Because while enabling disabling that constraint you required a name, or while deleting or dropping that particular constraint from the table you need to specify the name. So what is a good practice? So good practice is to specify the name of constraint every time whenever you are applying a constraint. But here intentionally, in order to tell you that suppose you are not providing the name, then also you can apply constraint. I wanted to show this, that's why I intentionally not given name to this primary key constraint. So here I am trying to insert a row into a table bank with account number 1, name is A, and balance is 5000. Then again another insert into statement. So here what I've done, I'm not providing the value of a account number, so in that case I'm getting error, and first row is inserted, in the second row will not get inserted because in this case I'm providing the null value to the account number, so that is not accepted, so in that case I will get an error. Then at the last third statement I try to insert a value into table bank, so in this case you observe that I am just providing the duplicate value of a account number, so in this case also I will get a error. So let's check all this thing with the help of live SQL. Let's demonstrate all this thing, and notice that it can be specified as a table level or column level constraint. So that restriction is not there on primary key constraint, that it should be only a column level or it's also table, but it's both. You can specify primary key constraint at table level or you can specify it at a column level also. Now let's demonstrate all this thing with the help of live SQL. Now let's see the demonstration of primary key. So here I'm going to create a table bank6 where I am applying primary key constraint on attribute account number. So let's execute this statement and create table bank6. So here bank6 table is created. Now we need to validate the primary key. We need to check whether it allows not null value to be null value to be inserted into table or not, whether it allow duplicate value to be inserted into table or not. So let's check. So I just inserting first row into a table with account number 1, name A, and balance is 5000. So successfully inserted, one row is inserted into a table bank6. Now the second row I am going to insert, where I am try to insert a null value for account number. I am not specifying any value, that means I try to insert null value for account number. So whether it should allow me, let's check whether it allow me to insert a value or not. No, cannot insert null. Why? Because we apply primary key constraint on account number, and we know that primary key is a combination of not null constraint and unique constraint. So here null value is not allowed to be inserted into a table bank6. Now next one is again I try to insert a third row into a table. At that time I will just providing a duplicate value for account number. Account number 1 is already there in the table bank6, but still I am trying to insert a duplicate value, and let's check whether it allow to insert duplicate value into table or not. So here I am getting error, unique constraint is violated. That means it is true that once you apply primary key constraint on any attribute, it will not allow null value to be inserted or duplicate value inserted to be in the table. And one more thing that you should know, I told you that, see, you should be very clear that in one table only one primary key should be there, but primary key with form means primary key can be formed with more than one attribute also. So in this case, example, I am just going to create a table teach where TID is an attribute, SID is an attribute, and here I want to form a primary key with a combination of two attribute TID and SID. So this is also possible. But this thing is not possible with column level constraint. What is the reason behind that? Why this thing is not possible with the help of column level constraint? Because we know that primary key constraint can be applied only once in a table. It should not be repeated. So here suppose I applied TID number primary key, SID number primary key, it will not allow. That's why you need to understand that whenever you need to apply primary key constraint with more than one attribute, you need to make use of a table level constraint. So let's check whether it allow me to create teach table with two attribute for primary key or not. Yes, table is created. So this is, I have just shown you the way where primary key is formed with more than one attribute. So I hope you understand the concept of primary key. Now the next concept is a foreign key constraint. Okay, the next type of constraint, last constraint in key constraint, is a foreign key constraint. So what is the use of foreign key constraint? So while designing a database, you need to establish a relationship between two tables. Okay, suppose you learn about the concept of inheritance. So in that case, you know that there is a base class and the derived class, that means parent class and the child class. Similarly, in case of a database, whenever you are designing a database, so more than one table you need to create it, and most of the time you need to establish a relationship between two tables. So in order to establish a relationship between two tables, you make use of a concept that is what a foreign key constraint. So foreign key constraint allows us to establish a relationship between two tables. Now let's see how foreign key constraint allow us to establish a relationship between two tables. So in case of foreign key, one table points to primary key in another table. So foreign key establish a relationship between two tables where one table acts as a parent table and another table as a child table. Now I will give example. So in this case, example is very simple. First of all, I will create a table person. I am going to create a table person. So in that person table, what kind of information is being stored? Person ID, name and city. So on this person ID, I am applying primary key constraint because I want that every person to be uniquely identified. So its value should not be repeated, or its value should not be a blank. So I applied primary key constraint on PID. So in case of person table, person ID is there, name is there and city is there. Now second table is a order table. Order one table is there in which order ID is there, order date is there, and this person ID act as a foreign key. So this person ID is same as that of person ID in the person table. See, in this case, person is a parent table and order one is a child table. So this person ID in the person table is same as that of person ID in the order table, because in the person table we are storing the information of person, and in the order table we are maintaining the information of order placed by that particular person. So this person ID is present in both the table, person table as well as in the order table. From person table you are getting the personal details of that person, but suppose you want to know at what date that particular person has placed order, or whether that person has placed order or not. So for that purpose you need to refer this order table. So person is a parent table whereas order is a child table. So you need to always remember that in case of a parent table you have a primary key, and in case of a child table you have separate primary key and foreign key. So foreign key is always present in the child table, and in the parent table there is a primary key. So here I have just specified two syntax. One is a foreign key constraint specified as a column level, and foreign key constraint specified as a table level constraint. So this is what a thing, and this is what a thing, foreign key referencing two table. That means from two parent you can derive one child also. That means you can refer more than one, means one children can refer two parent also. In this case, what is your observation, that order 1 is a child table which refer to only one parent person, but in this case it is also possible that this children 1 can refer to person 1 and person 2. That is, foreign key can reference to two table. So that is what an example. In case of teach table, one foreign key is referencing to teacher TID, and second is SID from subject table. So that all these things we will demonstrate with the help of live SQL. And a very important thing that you should know in case of foreign key constraint, suppose you apply foreign key constraint, you know that in case of foreign key constraint always there is a parent table and the child table. So there are two restrictions are put while using a concept of foreign key constraint. So what are that restriction? Unless and until you will not enter a data into a person table, you will not able to enter a data into order table. That means it is not possible that you will insert a new person ID into a order table. So this is not allowed. First of all, data should be added to person table, and then data should be added in a order table. That means without person, how can you place order? That is the thing. That's why while inserting a data, first of all data is to be inserted into parent table, and then you can insert the data into a child table. And second restriction is for deletion. You cannot delete a data directly from person table. Why? Because its dependency is there in the child table. It's just like that. In case of Linux operating system, you aware about this, the concept of directory is there. You cannot delete directory directly. So first of all you need to delete all the files, and then you can able to delete the directory. So in the same way, first of all you need to delete the entry from child table, then its respective entry can be deleted from the parent table. So this is for these two restriction you should know about insertion and deletion. You cannot insert a data directly into a child table unless and until their entry is present in the parent table, and you cannot delete a data directly from parent table unless and until its respective entry from child table gets deleted. So don't worry about this. I will demonstrate all this thing with the help of live SQL. Okay, now let's see the demonstration of foreign key. So in this case I am going to create one parent table. So in case of parent table, I have primary key set on person ID. So I am going to create a table person. So here person table is created. Then I am going to create a child table as order 1 table. Here I applied foreign key constraint. So here you can see OID is a primary key for order table. Order date is there, and this PID considered as a foreign key which will refer to its parent person. So you need to understand the syntax for it. PID number, then I am providing the name to the constraint f underscore k references. Here you need to provide a parent name. So what is the parent name? Parent table name person. And what is the name of attribute? PID. So this is a column level constraint, means I am creating a child table order 1 with a foreign key constraint applied on attribute PID. So let's check. Yes, table is created. So I have created one parent table person, and I have created one child table order 1. So this is column level constraint. Now I will show you how to apply foreign key constraint as a table level constraint. Means in this case also I am providing foreign key constraint, here also I am going to provide a foreign key constraint, but here column level constraint and here table level constraint. So syntax is slightly different. So here what I have done, PID number, then I need to give comma, constraint f underscore k1, foreign key PID, references, parent table name is person, attribute is PID. So this is again I am executing it, so it will create a order 2 table. So in this case only one parent person is there and I have created two child, order 1 and order 2. This is only to show you how column level and table level constraint can be created. Now I try to insert a data into a child table directly, because I told you about restriction while using a foreign key that I cannot insert data directly to child table. So let's see whether it allow to insert data into a child table or not. No. In this case I am getting error, integrity constraint violated, parent key not found, because this person ID 1 is not there. This person ID PID is not present in the person table. That's why I'm not going to insert its information into child table. So first of all what I need to do, first of all I need to insert a data into a person table with person ID 1. Means suppose person is not created, how he can place order? So for that purpose, first of all person information should be there. Now person information is there in the person table with PID 1. Now for this PID 1 order can be created. So now let's execute this. So here now the row is inserted. Now so I hope you understand this thing, that in case of foreign key directly you cannot insert data into a child table. First of all its respective entry should be present in the parent table. So let's check the data from table. In the person table we have PID as a 1, and in order table I will execute both the statements simultaneously. So this is a parent table person having PID 1 and order table with PID 1. So this person has placed this particular order with order ID as a 11. Now the second restriction is that you cannot delete a data directly from parent table. So in this case parent table is a person table. Can I able to delete the data directly from parent table? So let's check. So it give me error, integrity constraint is violated because child record is present, because we already know that in my parent table I have PID 1 and this PID 1 in child table one record is there. That's why this is not possible. So in that case what is the solution? First of all you need to delete the entry from child table. So here I have just deleted the entry from child table, and then you need to delete the entry from parent table. Now it allow me to delete a data. So in this way we have seen the concept of foreign key. So I hope you understand the concept of foreign key, how foreign key helps to establish a relationship between two tables, what are the restrictions that is applied by foreign key, and how to specify the foreign key as a column level as well as a table level. So I hope you understand the concept of integrity constraint. So we discuss about three types of key constraint. One is a unique constraint, primary key constraint, and a foreign key constraint. Thank you.